Hey guys, Nick here. Welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 2, aka the finale, to the next Dragon Ball story, What If the Tuffles Killed the Saiyans? Before we get started, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick, and check out the About tab and homepage so you don't miss anything for the Omniverse's future. With all that said, let's begin. So, we open up where we ended off last time. Baby and Hachiyak have merged, and they killed everyone in the vicinity, including their own people, either because there was no one to actually enslave, or just because that's how mad he is. He's not worried about just conquering now, like Baby was. With Hachiyak, it's far more sinister. It's about destruction and conquering. And Planet Tuffle, half destroyed, there's nothing in it for him now. It's why he killed everyone, besides just being an over chaotic two people merged. But now he's on a rampage. Earth is first. And with no Saiyans, the Red Ribbon Army, especially with the Earthlings being barely anything, the Red Ribbon Army gets. Pilaf would most likely get his wish, and the Red Ribbon Army would start to get up there, and Perfect Cell would be a thing, and he would be basically the only strongest and main threat on that world. Either that, or Baby Hachiyak would exploit the strongest and control Perfect Cell just immediately, and then enslave or kill literally everybody else. So we get mainly Baby Cell. Either maybe others, it just matters is the fact he's destroying and conquering Earth, just like Planet Tuffle. And Cell is the main takeaway from this. Then Planet Namek is next, and it doesn't matter how many try to merge in the moment, it's way too much. Baby and Hachiyak and Baby Cell, far too much. Plus the fact, who knows how many more slaves Baby Hachiyak would, assemble. Then Planet Yardrat is next. Their techniques and vast compatibility, it's not enough. Not nearly. Planet Vampa, that's a cakewalk. The heaters, they are easily dealt with gas being the biggest threat, entirely pointless. Granola, same difference. The Galactic Patrol try to assemble, but the main takeaway from this, and he has to force himself to use his angel powers just to stay ahead, but it literally gets him erased, because angels can't fight. Old Moro is broken out of the seal because of Baby and Hachiyak and all the Tuffles, but he tries to put up more of a fight and steal the powers for himself, so Baby Hachiyak and just everybody else, they just eradicate him. And then Baby Hachiyak reaches a still where he can't easily get out of this. Bobbity and Deborah and the Majins. And Bobbity instantly is able to control Baby Hachiyak, Baby Cell, and anybody else. And whether controlling however many besides these two, or stealing energy from all across the universe, Majin Buu is, I feel, he would be instantly freaking brought back on the fly. Especially with how much Baby Hachiyak was doing, you could definitely see that Majin Buu would be brought back easily. And he turns on his master. And Deborah and Buu and Baby Hachiyak and Baby Cell, they all form a partnership, but Deborah, seeing as Buu is far too playful and far too much of a nuisance, grabs the third eye and they all conquer the demon realm. But when push comes to shove that they're going to get rid of Buu, Buu gets angry and turns into Super Buu after Evil Buu is exposed from him. But he is instantly eradicated by the Tuffles and Deborah with the third eye. Mainly Baby Hachiyak leading the surge. And with this overwhelming power, Baby Hachiyak and Deborah with the third eye, it's very much, along with Baby Cell, a monstrous and terrifying team up. But eventually, the conquering and everything getting to Baby and Hachiak's head, it's beginning to overwhelm them. And Baby's mind inside of Cell, it's beginning to make him crave more. So, eventually, it leads to something. It leads to something absolutely freaking terrifying. Like, to the core. Traumatizing, terrifying, absolute madness. Every single word that you could think of. That's what this is about. You're about to see. Baby merges himself with not only Hachiak, not only Cell and that baby version of him, but Third Eye Deborah. And here we get probably the most monstrous fusion and assemblization in the history of Dragon Ball ever. With Baby Hachiak, Third Eye Deborah, and Baby Cell all fused, we have Baborayak, the ultimate terrifying assemblization of science, third eye overpowered bullcrap, the Demon King, the ultimate android, and the strongest of the Tuffle race. Like I said, this is the most terrifying and probably most people that has ever been fused together. And I think one of the best, if not the best, fusion designs that I myself probably have ever made and in the history of Dragon Ball. And with this, it's no question that whatever Baborayak has not conquered, he just takes over all of Universe 7, enslaving and destroying everything. And Shin meets the fate as well. And this kills off Beerus, which also makes Whis inactive. And I'm going to be straight with you right now, and I bet all of you could probably testify to this. Because of the third eye, because of Deborah, because of Baby, because of Hachiak, if Beerus and Baborayak were to have fought, and I nearly wrote this, it literally would have taken Ultra Instinct 100% Beerus to take him down. And even then, it's way too strong a fusion that it would be that close to Beerus's full power that he would have to go. It would literally take Beerus every single scrap of Hakai energy, God of Destruction energy, and much more utilization of Ultra Instinct to even come close to this terrifying assemblization fusion. But since I forgot about the Supreme Kai planet, we don't get that fight. So I basically just figured I would answer that question for you. So yeah, the Great Priest detects this and that Whis has become inactive and the Seventh Universe's God of Destruction and Kai are gone. And once Zeno gets so unbelievably bored with no other universes making progress and the seventh doomed for utter annihilation and just plague, he erases it. But not only that, but he erases all 12 universes. Now, there's a reason for that, and it's very obvious, but because of Baborayak's literal abominational plaguing, this would have spread to all 12 universes at some point or another. Especially finding out about the Super Dragon Balls. Imagine, he could literally control all 12 universes. But Great Priest and Zeno figuring out about Whis and Beerus, this means that the Great Priest and Zeno are going to act. And this not only makes them erase Universe 7, but erase all 12, just because of the danger that this would present, and that if Universe 7 spawned this, they can never trust all 12 universes. This is way too disastrous. And with this, all 12 universes, including Baboriak, are erased. Just going to show that the Tuffles living instead of the Saiyans would have been the worst thing you could have imagined. And that says a lot coming from what we saw as a peaceful. So, in closing, the Tuffles would be far more disastrous than how the Saiyans were. In the end, proving with Dragon Ball GT and Hachiak's story that the Tuffles were one of the biggest hypocrites of them all, turning into the exact thing that drove them extinct. In the end, causing their own destruction by the one and only Grand Zeno. And I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed Baby Hachiak, Baby Cell, and Third Eye Deborah. I could have kept Majin Buu in the mix, but I feel that because of Evil Buu, he would have tried to usurp them, causing Baby to hold the helm along with Hachiak and everything like that. And Deborah would have been around and actually teamed with them. So, overall, I feel that this direction, it would have led to Frieza more or less wanting to destroy them. Beerus not destroying them, like, because of how they would be, but because of their impudence, and more or less just because. And I feel like that's another reason why he wanted the Saiyans destroyed, just because, so that he didn't have to do it. So that would almost be the same here for the Tuffles. But even if you throw Cooler and King Cold in the mix, because of the Tuffles actually staying around and advancing their technology, that means that you would be overpowering them to the T. Hachiak, the mutants, everything. True, Ginyu swapping with Lude ultimately would have meant that the Frieza Force maybe would have won in the end. But once you throw Baby and Hachiak in the mix, no amount of body swapping could save you from literally one of the toughest creations in all of history. And he wouldn't have stopped there. Going past the creations of a mere Tuffle, he would have gone to planet. Earth and the Red Ribbon Army would have been a great opportunity for the Tuffles to expand their horizon even further, controlling and producing even more of a Tuffleized army across the entire 7th universe. That's why I included Baby Cell. And the reason I included Deborah as a partner is because with the Third Eye and something to go for, I can see them forming a partnership. But the more control and absorption, just like Majin Buu, it would have overtaken Baby and Hachiak. And eventually, that level of control, it would have just became too much for him. Which is why, eventually, Baby Hachiak would merge with Cell and Deborah and become literally the strongest entity, possibly even surpassing Jiren. I'm not even lying. When you combine Baby, Hachiak, Cell, and Third Eye Deborah, mind you, that's why it took Beerus full power and Ultra Instinct. If you had the two fight. But unfortunately, that would not happen because the Supreme Kai's world would be in danger too. So, let's just say that Beerus had an opportunity to fight or Mirus or something. You literally have the strongest entity in probably all the 12 universes. But God of Destruction and Angels are another thing, you know? But Beerus, it would have taken him full power and Ultra Instinct to even think of stopping this entity. And with an entire 7th universe controlled with the Tuffleization, the Tuffles would have just became the very thing that they became extinct fighting. The Saiyans. And it's ironic when you look at how Frieza became and now is in his Black Frieza form. He has literally become just like the Saiyans that he was trying to destroy. Showing sometimes when you think that you're doing the right thing by fighting a war or trying to stop or rid a species or a person, one day or immediately, you might just become just like them. And this story was the full front and example that no matter what, the Tuffles ended up becoming just like the Saiyans. And that was proven to a full front and center with Baby and Hachiak and Cell, all of those egos, including Third Eye Deborah. You just have a literal embodiment of chaos, destruction, and control. Making every threat in Super, GT, and Z almost look like jokes. So, yeah. The 7th universe, because of the Tuffles surviving instead of the Saiyans, would have been absolutely screwed, and he would have screwed over. The Tuffles also not only screwed their own universe and their planet and their just overall existence, but they screwed all 12 universes. Because Zeno and Grand Priest would have seen this and deemed all the other universes not only in danger, but not worth keeping around. Screw the Tournament of Power, future timeline. It's just, without any Saiyans or anything memorable and just pure chaos in the 7th universe, what would be the use of even looking into other universes, be it twin or not? You would have literally doomed all 12 universes to their literal destruction and erasure. So in the end, the Tuffles being around instead of the Saiyans screwed themselves and screwed existence. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this Tuffle story. This is one of the shorter stories that I have done on this channel, besides the Bardock Super Saiyan one, which, by the way, definitely check out if you haven't. I'm surprised that that one hasn't got more attention. It's one of the literal most asks and most requested and done things on all Dragon Ball media. So I suggest that you guys check that out if you haven't. And I really hope you guys liked the design for the fusion, because I really enjoyed making that design. But with all of that said, this is one of the shorter ones, and it's just based on the fact that because you left the Tuffles alive, you just gave them all the more willpower to expand their ever-growing Tuffleization and control and overbearing. Just at that point, you doomed the 7th universe. And we thought the Saiyans were bad news. There is a world, like in the 6th universe, where the Tuffles could have been forever good, and nothing would have happened. When you throw the Frost Tyrants in the mix, though, and all the lore you know about the Tuffles, you're just giving all the fuel and firepower to literally set them up for their own failure. And the Saiyans were lucky to not go completely extinct. Literally. And with that said, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this Tuffle story. Let me know how you think the Tuffles would have done, and how you think this iteration of it was overall covered. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the 4th Thunder episode, and onwards for more from the Omniverse.